wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Very special day it is. It is a wonderful Wednesday, an Education Wednesday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, is Bradley Gilbert from Walmart. Good morning, Bradley.
Good morning, Becky.
Happy Wednesday, right?
Happy Wednesday.
Yay,
Yeah.
yay. In the studio, we have Education Wednesday, and we have our own Salem School Corporation, our own alumni, very excited about, and have in the house, we have Kevin Albertson, who is the principal at the middle school, which, Kevin, you are a saint.
I appreciate that.
The middle school, right?
That's the official herding cat here.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And so that's awesome, and you're boldly going and doing what a lot of people maybe couldn't do. So hats off to you, Kevin Albertson. Glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
And we do have Rebecca Consley with us this morning. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
First time in the studio?
Yes, it is.
Yay! Give a whoop whoop,
Woo-hoo.
right? Love that. All right, let's thank our sponsors, Bradley.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rosa's, Fox for Lee Wealth Management, Dr. Blackside Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, and McAllister Land Consulting.
All right, we're on to the 5th day of February, so I want to remind everybody, those two in the studio, Kevin and Brad, we're getting closer to Valentine's Day. Your wife, everybody told me to tell you that, okay?
It's a made-up holiday. I don't
Stop.
participate
Such
unless someone gives me.
Boys will be boys, right?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that is a good reminder.
Well, then, Rebecca,
Absolutely.
we'll just go get our own stuff, right?
Yeah,
We'll just
well,
go-
absolutely.
We can buy our own flowers. We can.
Yeah.
Right. Today is also California Western Monarch Day. I don't know what that means. Disaster Day. It shows the Titanic.
That was a disaster.
It was a total disaster. I don't have my glasses on, sorry. National Chocolate Fondue Day. Yum.
Oh, there you go.
Yum. So I heard one of the restaurants, which I'm not going to say it out loud, but they had a chocolate fondue, and they had to take it out because someone went underneath and just started eating the chocolate. Someone was living their best life.
Yes.
Someone was living their
Yes.
dream. Everybody dreams of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you like chocolate
I
fondue?
love chocolate fondue.
Yes, me too. What about you, Kevin?
Yes, I do.
Brad?
Yes.
I know Brad.
And I do have a funny story. I was at a wedding, a really nice wedding in a really nice place, and they had a chocolate fondue thing, and at one point, I guess they were nephews of the bride or the groom, one of them, but at one point, people looked up and they were living their best life with the chocolate fondue.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say. It
I
was
love
in their
that.
hands, on
Oh.
their face. They had, marshmallow Rice Krispie treats, with that. I mean, yeah, so
Those are my kind of people.
I know. Very quickly, though,
Yeah.
the chocolate fondue thing got shut down. But,
Well, yeah. But you went out with a bang,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, doing it right.
And they were living their best life.
Yeah.
They had no regrets walking home.
No, I would
down
not.
there.
No.
No.
Would
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah.
Rebecca, what's your favorite thing to dip into?
Oh, marshmallows.
Ooh.
I love me a chocolate-covered marshmallow.
Look at you.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Kevin?
I'll probably Rice Krispie treats. It's
Ooh.
my favorite.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I like strawberries.
I would say I'm a strawberry. Yeah. Oh.
But all of the above.
But I was gonna say
All
I
of it.
wouldn't be mad at any of those. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so today is national. And I want some. It's also National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. Hats off to our girls and women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And some really, really great athletes. And I'm so glad we've come a long way, baby. From years ago. Yeah. National Shower with a Friend Day. I don't know about that. Okay. Like you guys nobody's gonna touch that one. I know.
No.
I don't read these. I'm reading these. Obviously right now. National Signing Day. Ooh, a lot of good signing on maybe some drafting or changing. Signing day. National Weather Person's Day. I'm really impressed with the weather people. I mean, the weather, from the National Weather Service, we, stay on calls with them. They've really been on target. They've really hit it right, really good. And I hope
Very accurate this year.
Yeah, and people are mean when they don't, but I think we need to give them praise when they sure do, So yeah, they have. World Nutella Day. You guys, Nutella? It's like a chocolate.
Yeah. The isn't that the hazelnut?
Yeah.
Stuff?
I think
Yeah.
that's
Hazelnut
right.
and chocolate. Is that what it is
Yeah.
together?
World Read Aloud Day. And it shows glasses. Yes, Read Aloud Day. So get out and enjoy for sure. All right, so let's do jump in real quick. I do want to go over to Bradley real quick at Walmart. You guys, speaking of, we're getting closer to the big game, and speaking of that, and Rebecca, do you have a favorite for the Super Bowl?
I'm really hoping the Chiefs win.
Ah, I like that.
I don't really have a dog in the fight, but that's who I want to win.
And are you a Swiftie? Is it?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Her boyfriend's playing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's Taylor's team.
Look at Kevin. He hates
Isn't it
when
good that she made it to the Super Bowl?
I know. It's so nice. So nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's okay. So you're Chiefs. What about you, Kevin?
I had to go for the Eagles.
Oh,
I'm a
I
Raiders
love that.
fan, so Raiders fans came to root for the Chiefs. It's
Okay.
our rule.
Okay, it's a rule.
That's
okay.
a good rule.
I love
yeah.
that. What about you?
Whoever's playing against Taylor Swift.
Okay.
No, I'm for the Eagles. I'm going for the Eagles. Which I like the idea of the history, that the Chiefs would make, but with the stuff that happened in Philadelphia, in North Philly, I just kind of, I'm kind of with
that
them
would
too.
be good for them,
And so I'm an NFC fan over AFC normally, but
Yeah. Well, we shall see. And then, are you guys any good food? You guys are.
Ooh, we're gonna smoke some ribs. Some barbecue
Why
ribs.
are we not best friends? You know what I mean? We need to be. You are doing it right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the best party I've heard. You know what I mean? I was thinking just throwing some wings out, but man, you're bringing your game on.
Yeah, we are.
I love that. What about you, Kevin? You guys?
Usually it's a surprise, so we always have a small gathering, and people usually bring some variety of stuff, so you kind of never know till you get there who's going to bring in what,
Yeah,
which is always kind of fun.
Yeah, that's potluck kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. What about you, Brad? Are you playing?
well, I'm going somewhere. So, but I got a new recipe, and you know how you hear about different kinds of meatballs that people make in a crock pot, but I got a recipe for cranberry sweet and spicy meatballs in crock pot. Use the cranberry gel stuff in a can, not the one that's got just the gel stuff. You use sweet chili
The
sauce,
shakes.
and you use some Asian sweet and sour, and put that in there, and put a little garlic in there. So I hear they're really good, so I'm looking forward to trying.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well, all of the above.
Something different.
I like that. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
All right. So have some fun on that for sure. All right. Also, we did have. Actually, we've got more sectional games going on today. The Lady Lions will be playing Lanesville, and today is Ladies in Athletics. So we want to give them a big shout out and go get them, Lady Lions. So this is the sectional game tonight. So we'll be having that game. So Kelsey and Brock, they do a fantastic job. And
They do.
yeah, they do a great job. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, and they're very dedicated too. They go everywhere. Yeah, but they kind of make it a date night, I think, sometimes.
There
so
you go.
I love that.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump in and see what we got going on at the middle school. So we've had a little bit of well, first of all, Rebecca, let's hear what's your play at the middle school.
So I teach 8th grade math and Algebra 1,
Oh.
and I am the math counts coach for our math counts team.
Oh, okay. So is all this adding up here?
Yes.
Very much.
Sorry,
Very much.
but I'll be here all night. No, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's great. And Algebra 1, that's like the introduction.
Yeah, it's honors Algebra 1, so it's a high school credit class.
I was going to say,
Wow.
that was because when we
At the middle school.
At the middle
when
school.
we,
Nice.
when we were in school, that was high school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, they're really good kids.
I love that. Well, that's awesome. Do you love that? Like, just that, that when you see it, when they finally catch it or get it, because it takes a little while to get it, and then when
Oh,
they,
yeah.
the light bulbs go off.
Yeah, the light bulbs will go off, and they all understand, and it's an
Aw.
aha moment for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, we're so glad to have you with us this
Thank
morning.
you.
All right, so let's, Kevin, let's kind of go a recap. I know you've probably got points you want to talk about too, but let's kind of go a recap. We had some weather out, and we've had some sicknesses. How's the middle school doing with some of the sicknesses going around?
Well, surprisingly, we're not too bad off. Not too far from our normal day to day.
Oh.
We're fortunate our staff is pretty healthy right now, and I
What
hope
about
that stays away, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Students, we're averaging probably about 10 more out right this week than we have normally.
Mm-hmm.
So really, we've been fortunate. So, but also I think it helps. The middle school kids are good enough; they know how to stay away from each other and not touch each other all the time.
Right.
So
yeah.
they're pretty good about being able to stay that. But I think the biggest issue we had is last week was really the first full week of school. We've been in normal schedule since mid-December.
Yeah.
And so I think just getting everybody back in routine, and you had the tired eyes and the adults and kids, but
Sure.
I think we're back in a pretty good little routine right now, and I hope with everything going around that we can kind of keep that going.
Right. I think probably more. Of course, it's kind of funny that you think this. I kind of think that maybe in elementary, like we share soft drinks or whatever. Here, give me a drink of that. You drink after each other.
Receive
And then in middle school,
Brownfield's
you're kind of like
latest
that.
national
Ooh.
and state news,
And then you go back.
markets, and weather
Wait,
in
something
your
is
email
going. Something
inbox.
has fired here.
Sign up for
We got something
Brownfield's
going on here.
Agriculture
And then-
Today
oh.
e-newsletter at brownfieldagnews.com.
I got ag news
Hello,
going on.
everyone.
Then you got. Sorry about that. Anyway, then you got. Okay. One of my buttons fired. I'm so sorry about that. That's called live radio. Okay. So then you go back, and then maybe in high school you have those besties that you share your drink with too. So you kind of got that. But that middle school's kind of where you don't do so much. So maybe that. I mean, I'm just trying to.
No, that's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, middle school they're kind of trying to figure out themselves again, and
Yeah.
and high school you kind of get that figured out, and you go back to it reminds you a little bit of the elementary days.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And Rebecca, middle school, I mean, you and Kevin both kind of talk about the difference like in middle school, because a lot of times, like if you hear other teachers from elementary or high school, they'll talk about, middle school, because it's such a, if you want to say what I'm trying to say, to the butterfly, kind of the,
Cocoon stage?
Yeah, cocoon. I didn't want to say.
I was right there with you too. I'm like, what?
Cocoon, broadleaf, help me out.
Yeah.
To the butterfly, kind of, it's huge. I think that's probably one of the biggest growth from 6 to 8, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. They're figuring themselves out and figuring out who they are as a person, who they want to grow up to be,
Yeah.
who they want to hang out with.
Mhm.
It's a big discovering stage for sure.
It's physical, emotional, social, all of it in that time frame.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I always, when we talk about this too, for anybody involved in education at a middle school or junior high level, it's not for the faint of heart, right?
Right.
I feel like
Yeah.
you guys paint up in Braveheart every morning.
Kevin,
you know,
every
and
morning puts
we're
makeup
ready.
on you all. Yeah.
It's
Let's go
like-
get him, team.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think because from we're talking Salem schools, and from K through fifth, you are, you're pretty well that same teacher. Maybe you might go to another teacher for a little while, but you kind of got. And I always fell in love with every teacher I had. You know what I mean? You just loved your class, and I always wondered, did they miss me like I missed them? They were celebrating once I
I
got
was going to say, the send-off parties we got maybe answered that question.
Yeah.
But,
When I saw them out that night celebrating, I
we assumed it was to overtake the tears of missing it.
Yeah, it
right?
wasn't tears of missing, it was tears of celebrating, yeah. But anyway, and then you go to middle school, and that first, when you first walk in that 6th grade year, your lockers, moving to class. I remember thinking 5th grade, there's no way this is doable. You know what I mean? No way I can get my visiting in, get to class, open a locker. You know what I mean? I don't see this happening,
And it's amazing. 6th graders usually struggle the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But usually about a month into it, they've got it figured out.
Right.
But I think one of the things we do struggle with as teachers and adults in the middle school is kids don't have a lot of good sense of time.
Timing.
Just time, because
Yeah. I still
and,
don't.
and I think as adults now, even
Still struggle.
Yeah.
and even more so now, and you're an adult sometimes, you're like, oh, that was 30 minutes.
No, I know.
And
Time flies.
and
Yeah.
time just doesn't seem the same as it did when I was in middle school myself.
Right.
And so they don't get necessarily a sense of hurry.
Yeah.
We hear bells, we'd run. Now they kind of meander on their way to get there. But honestly, we got some really good kids right now. We really don't have that too much of an issue with that kind of stuff. And it is unique because middle school kids, they got a lot of different personalities, and that can change from period to period, and sometimes day to day. But the beauty of middle school is those kids have got to the point where once they trust an adult, they'll talk. So you can work through some of the things that's going on with them that may be impacting your education and stuff. And I still think most middle school kids really want to learn still, and they're thriving to learn.
I agree.
Sometimes it's hard. Some things, new concepts. I mean, because middle school expectations ramp up a lot from elementary school.
Yeah,
The state puts a lot of different standards on middle school, especially math. Math is one of those subjects that, you know, you go from elementary learning, so basically they expect you to know all that, plus now learn all this new stuff. And even when some of them are still trying to get some of the, especially the multiplication, the tables, that type of stuff down. So it is a push for the kids sometimes when it comes to their expectations. But for the most part, our kids adjust pretty well. Our teachers, again, my staff is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, over the 4 years I've been out to middle school, we've changed staff, but we've, you know, just keep getting better and better. Cohesiveness. You know, my staff is great. They'll talk all the time.
Yeah.
During our PLC times, we have some great meetings going on. And again, everything they talk about is how much they care about kids and what
kids
they want to
understand
do.
that. They know that. If
Yeah,
you've
they
got
know
that
that bond.
culture, they
Yeah.
know that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one thing, the middle school, you've always been really good about making sure there's meetings and communication and talking, and I think that's where you really, you know, do a great job, Kevin, on that, you know, making sure that everybody is kind of, and I think, and like Brad said, it pays off. Everybody knows that. You can feel it. You feel the vibe, you know what I mean? It's a good vibe, and that's great atmosphere. And I think, you know, I was joking that, you know, that they're a lot, but they're a lot of fun. Middle schoolers are a lot of fun. You talk about, because they don't have that, they're still hilariously funny, you know, but they don't have that when they hit high school. There's a little bit, you know, we kind of go too cool, you know what I mean?
They don't try to edit themselves. They're just kind of more
just
open and
hilariously
and,
funny. Yeah. And I love that too, you know, their personality, which I like to see. Going back on Rebecca, I'm kind of going backtrack real quick. Where are you're not a Salem alumni. Where did you call home? Where did you?
I graduated from Henryville.
Henryville, okay.
Black and gold, right?
Yeah, black and gold.
Same colors,
Yes. I grew up in Gary, though, for the first 13 years of my life.
Wait, hold on. I gotta say Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
I gotta, yeah. The Music Man. I'm sorry, I can't. Every time I hear Gary, that's wow. So that was. Now look, kind of. That's quite a bit bigger. That's a little bit different atmosphere.
It was totally different.
It
was a culture shock.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you came from, you went to school at Gary?
Mm-hmm. I went to elementary school there, and then when I started 7th grade, we moved down here. My dad got a job in Jeff, and we found home in Henryville. So that's where I went and loved it.
That's a beautiful story. Yeah, right.
So when did you decide that, and I want to say that, you know, being a math teacher is like, to me, that's like really amazing, because, you know, that's, I don't think that's for the faint of heart. But
No.
So when did you decide, I want to be a math teacher?
So,
has math just always been?
No, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I loved working with, especially when I was younger, and I would help other kids and stuff, my peers, and I knew I wanted to be a teacher, so I went for elementary education, and I got my license in K through 6. And then I got hired at another school district, and they were like, we really need somebody to do math. And I was like, I like math. I can do math. And they had me doing math and English.
Oh.
So I was like, I like the math part of this a lot, and I got my license for math, and I've been in math ever since, and I fell in love with it.
That's
I
awesome.
love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, were you, where were you at when the tornado hit at Henryville?
I was in college.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I had already graduated by then.
Yeah. Had your family, were they affected?
Yeah, we had a lot of hail damage,
Okay.
and had to get new roof, new car, new a lot of siding and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I have to, you always want to know what, you know, because that was such a, you know, a moment for Henryville. I just, you know, always think, you know, what a blessing how things did.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah.
It could have been much, much worse.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Still, that was always near and dear to my heart. But okay, so so from Henryville, and then how long have you been with Salem School Corporation?
This is my 3rd year at Salem.
3rd year, okay. And you like us?
I love it. I've been in a couple other school districts, and this one has been, it's a home.
Oh,
Everybody's my family. They're my friends outside of school.
I'm gonna come over and hug you. I love that. Don't you
That is
love
awesome.
that? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love the kids. They're great. The staff, the administration. It's what a school should be.
Oh, that's very kind. I love to hear that.
Mhm.
I think we need to probably just say that every so often. You know, what I mean,
Remind ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's so many positives going on. You know, I mean, there's so many great,
Oh, yeah.
great kids, and there's so many great, and just like what you're, talking about. You know, we need to be lifting these kids out because there are a lot of great kids.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they go through things that some people would never imagine, and
Yeah.
and just lift them up and tell them that you love them every day, and they can go places.
Right, right. I remember kind of the, I want to say kind of the slogan or whatever, that I always used to say too. And let's talk about like the free lunches. What a blessing that our school corporation, and I remember everybody always saying, and this was the line that I heard a lot, was, you can't do math on a hungry stomach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're hungry, and what a blessing for Salem School Corporation to be able to do the free meals for everybody across the board.
Yeah, I just think of the breakfast because before we came, we walked through the cafeteria and the kids eating breakfast, and I think we have about a third of our student population that takes advantage of the free breakfast.
I love that.
Which is is a good number.
Absolutely.
I mean, and so and probably about the same lunches or a little bit more. But it is a advantage, and it's nice seeing kids come in and eat and just communicate and talk with each other in the mornings. Because we open our doors at 7:25, and then we release them to go to class about 7:50. So they have a lot of kids have about 25 minutes there to eat breakfast, communicate with their friends, just have sit around and talk, and and that's something we couldn't done 4 years ago. We're isolating and trying to get everybody around. So
Right.
it's really great to see some of those relationships coming back, and the adults walking through, and the kids talking to the adults, and it's just again trying to create that culture of where everybody belongs and everybody wants to be a part of, and having everyone together is a big part of that.
And that may be the only socialism part of socializing part of their normal day. You never know, they may be an only child, and their morning routine may be just mom and dad getting to work and them getting to school, and people get busy. I think when you take that worry or one thing away, and I think that's anything that you can do is a positive thing. So I like to hear that there's kids, especially in the morning, taking advantage of that, because you and I are big advocates for that social aspect of it when it is the right time to do that. So.
Yeah. Rebecca's like, yeah, when it's the right time. That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right.
We may not have always.
There's a time for everything. I know.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. But yeah. So let's go back on that. So what a blessing. I just wanted to go back over the free meals because I do think that's so important, and I'm so happy about that. And you guys have got some fantastic lunch folks.
Good.
Good food. Great food. Yeah. So let's see. Here's what's new happening at the middle school.
Well, a couple things we've been working on. We've been working towards getting our STEAM certification through the state. So hopefully, we'll be able to fulfill that requirement and get that taken care of by the end of the year.
What will that mean, Kevin? Explain a little bit.
It's just a identification from the state that that we really focus on STEAM. We do a lot of activities with our kids. Our safe room that we built, we've turned into a STEAM lab. So our kids have some advantages that other students or former students hadn't had the opportunity. I mean, 3D printers and laser cutters and robotics and just so much stuff. And Miss Morgan's done a really good job of finding grants and keeping that room really flowing well. And fortunately, we haven't had to use it for what the real purpose of it is keeping everyone safe during a tornado. But we've been able to use that room. We use that room every day. I would say we have 120 kids probably go through there every day doing some form of activities. This week, 6 or 8 science classes have been in there. So doing some different activities, and it's fun to go in and watch them cut cardboard and create different programs. One of the things that we did at the end of last year, or right before Christmas break, they did the parade over Broadway, and they read a book, and then they programmed robots and created little balloons, and then we had all the school went down and they took them across the auditorium stage, and it's fun watching the kids program the robots and get the balloons to go across, kind of like Thanksgiving Day parade or kind of that kind of stuff. So it was our little mini version of that. So we're starting to come up with some other creative things to tie in some other worldly happenings that we can use and kind of do that. Probably the big thing that we're starting to gear up for right now is March 20th, we're having a career day at the middle school for our middle school students. Miss Morgan and Miss Bailey have been planning that.
Yeah.
Miss Bailey teaches our career and exploration class first semester, which is also for high school credit. So we're up to 3 classes at the middle school that we teach for high school credit. We brought back
That's fantastic.
beginning ag, introduction to ag as a high school credit for 8th graders that are not in band and choir. So we have introduction to ag, algebra 1 for some students, and then careers and exploration. So some of our kids, middle school kids, can go in with about 3 high school credit classes that they've taken.
That's fantastic, you guys. That helps parents out so much. I mean, talking
Well,
about saving money and
especially with the new pathways that the state's created.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
some things that, we're fortunate that we are in 3 separate buildings, but the collaboration that we have between the elementary, middle, and high school is outstanding. And then we try to find ways to help each other
sure.
and build and go with that direction. But our career day, we're looking forward to it. Last year was our kind of first year we brought it back. We've had, off and on over the years. We're hoping to make it bigger and better.
Yeah.
Again, just an experience for our kids and bringing in some different occupations that we don't, maybe our kids aren't familiar with, and just giving them a chance to walk around and kind of do a table and walk around and talk to the people that are in these things, see some of the things they do. So we're really looking forward to that, and that's a really kind of a big push we're doing right now, is to really get as many vendors per se in that we can have, and give our 370 kids the best opportunity they have to maybe start looking towards a career they may like.
Right, exactly. And we know that, because we've had the high school on too, talking about how, going with those certain diplomas have changed a little bit. So does it kind of start with you then? Does that pathway start kind of then now?
With the new push, it kind of does start with us. So there's going to be some things that probably middle school will probably start evolving a little bit to help with the high school as we go through. I mean, we're looking at, different pathways we create, but also it could be a middle school teacher may be qualified to teach that high school class, and we may have to do some more sharing of teachers and
That's
different
awesome.
things just to create some better pathways for our kids. And,
Mhm.
I know the high school did a great survey to get an idea of what, kind of our kids, what direction they would like for us to go first. And so I know that's planning, we're already in the planning process of that. And it also impacts us at the middle school level a little bit of, helping gear that and do some of that, different things, planning for them. But like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, I think we've had a lot of change over administration over 4 years. I mean,
Yeah.
retirees and different things.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I think we kind of got a core group now that'll be here for a while, and, we're all work well together, and we talk every day, and, and again, that's nice. When you collaborate, and if I'm having an issue or having a bad day, I know I can call one of the other 2 principals, and,
Yeah,
and they talk you down off the ledge sometimes. That lack of a better way to put that.
Yeah, no.
But, and hopefully, they feel the same way as that. But like I said, it's just, and I think Rebecca said it best, we're getting middle school wise, we're really getting a sense of a family. We're really, meshing. The departments are doing great. The teams are doing great. We've just been fortunate that, when a teacher retires or leaves, we've been able to bring in some quality teachers.
Yeah, sure.
And that's, in this day and age, it's hard because most schools are struggling to find teachers.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate enough that, we're finding people that fit right in and have the same goals and ideas that we have.
Right. Well, I think anyone, I think teachers, teacher appreciation is, could be every day. And I think that a lot of times we don't realize what all teachers go through. And I think it's been bringing more of we've been trying to bring that more to light and let people know. And that's why I feel like this Education Wednesday, to know what's going on, because you do what you do every day. And sometimes, in the building, we don't always get to see it, the outside, We know there's great things, and you guys are, this is our most valuable rubies here are our children, And we've got people that love the children, are there for the right reason. Obviously, after COVID, I think we can almost scratch that any teacher's not there for the right reason, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
because going through that and staying with it, and then now, with all of the, teaching's a different than what it used to be. It's a huge difference. I guess the things you have to do, the responsibilities you have now, the making sure that you're hitting, the marks where you need to hit. There's a lot more accountability. Or do you feel that way? It's a lot more.
Yeah. There's the standards every year. I
Standards,
feel
there you
like
go,
get harder and harder.
Yeah.
and then they add like SEL on top of us, and then the STEM standards on top of us. But it's doable. If you all
Right.
work together and you come together as a staff, it's totally doable. You can't just rely on just me to teach math. You know, it's a team effort for sure.
Right, and I think, you know, like you said, it's doable, but it is a lot more. So I think, you know, that's something that to realize what all our teachers are doing, you know, and I always like to highlight you guys, everybody in the school systems. And I think our 3 school systems work beautiful together, and I think that's important, very important. And also when you pick up, I think it's so the individual, I think that's something that Salem School Corporation works so hard, that every child is an individual, and every child has got, you know, I mean, that we're the check-in of are you making progress, you know, I mean, where do we need to focus on? And I think that's attention to detail, if you will, is so much part of Salem School Corporation.
Right. I feel like as a team, 8th grade team yesterday, we actually talked about every student as an individual. We had a note card with every kid's name on it, and we were like, who do you have a good relationship with? Write your name on it. And we want to make sure that we're hitting every kid relationship-wise.
Oh, I love that, Rebecca.
And so we had a couple kids that only had one teacher's name, and so we're going to make it a goal to reach those kids and figure out what are they like as a person, and help them build academically based on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. I love that so much. Yeah, because you know, and it can be anybody. It can be a lunch person.
Yeah,
it could be a custodian. Yeah, a bus driver. You know, you've got so many, or you know, somebody an aide or something,
Right.
or you know, office staff. It could be somebody that you know that just you know they connect with. Yeah.
Every kid needs an adult that they trust in the building.
An advocate.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I agree, Rebecca. I appreciate you sharing that. But I think now, you know, because we are starting so early, and it's doable, like we talked about. But like, you know, kind of thinking about college, and you know, when they start getting, especially you know, when you hit the ground running in high school, it gets a little bit more, you know, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in the future? And I think it's so good to know. And I think the high school is working so hard to make sure that we realize that college isn't for everyone, and that we have there's so many other areas to go on. And I think that's been the new wave, which I think is a great wave to be going on.
Yeah, I always say, kind of backs up, because, you know, my middle school life, I loved home ec. You know, we took home ec in middle school, shop.
Yeah.
I still remember with Mr. Kenyon making the pencil case, and I remember making, you know, we made something for, like, your parents for whatever holiday it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's important to bring some of that stuff back, because it is becoming a lost art a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's part of the career fair, is bringing in those other people that college isn't necessarily necessary for.
Right.
Like my fiance comes in for the career fair, and he works for a road construction company.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so they get to learn all about that and get to hear from him and how they can proceed that when they're older.
That's a blessing, because a lot of times you might think you would be interested, and it's not. And I'm sure the kids will have an opportunity to talk to him to find out if that's something that they, you know, I heard someone talk about yesterday that you know they job shadowed a professional, and they realized that it wasn't for them. You know what I mean? So sometimes that's nice to kind of know, and they didn't go on any further with that. They, you know, changed their direction because they realized that just wasn't the fit. And I think that's, and you kind of, like Brad and I, we talk about throwing everything out there, making everything, you know, like a buffet.
Yes.
You know, giving them a buffet of options. And I think Salem does a great job, and I think the career fairs do a great job at that too.
You don't know if you like Brussels sprouts until you try Brussels sprouts, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
For lack of a better. I am glad though that, and just for the disclaimer for those listening, it was not me that someone job shadowed and decided it wasn't for them.
No.
But
No.
the key part of that takeaway is I'm glad that I'm not the only one that that's happened to. No, but I think that's very important, because I think the earlier that you can identify that maybe, and not to discourage anything, but this is not for you, then you can spend time focusing on what, or finding out what is what it is you do want to do. So.
Right. And you know, if you know, on the you know, we see road construction, we see a lot going on, but you don't usually get a chance to talk to them. You know, you can't pull over and say, hey, what, you know, tell me. You know, they're kind of busy. So this is a golden opportunity to talk to those. And like you have that, we have electricians, we have plumbing, we have so many great things. We know we've got Prosser that does a great job, that you know, that focuses on this, you know, from hairdressing to, you know, to aviation to chef, you know, whatever, you know. And I think those are some great avenues and pathways that we have that we didn't used to have. You know, kind of going back years ago, it was just college bound. I remember getting that stamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, go on. You know what I mean? And you didn't. You know, and now I just feel like we are more communicating about what else is out there.
Yeah, very much. Also, it is a big week. Before I forget, it's National School Counselors Week.
Yes.
So
shout out to our counselors.
yeah,
Yay.
and we have some awesome counselors in Salem schools. I mean, they do a great job, from helping find jobs to getting into colleges to finding scholarships to all the way down to the middle elementary school with the social emotional, helping find resources for families, and doing all the other stuff that goes along with that, and just listening and being that listening ear, and and trying to help out in any way. And so we do have some awesome counselors at Salem, and I don't want to not include them, especially
I was trying to see if we could name them, but I'm afraid I'm going to leave somebody out. I was going to start naming, but I'm afraid that if I leave somebody out, I don't want to do that.
They're all rock stars, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always tell them that they need to come and give us like 15 minutes each board member. We get free 15 minutes of counseling. Right?
I like that.
just listen to me.
I would support that.
I think so. Yeah. I think
as a community member, I would.
Well,
support that.
it's always funny when you and sometimes the counselors will come in, and I'm always like, they're analyzing me. I know they're analyzing me.
Yeah. It's like, can you not pay attention for just a second?
Yeah. I love our counselors, and I think we have, and that's something that's fairly new, so to speak, if you will, that we've learned how important they are, and realize that each school corporation and each, we need so many, and actually we need more. If someone's sitting at home and they're thinking they'd like to go back to school for something, and this might be something that you feel like you're good at, we need more counselors, because that's something that, we're seeing, especially, I think it really started highlighting, and I hate to talk about COVID so much, but you kind of go back to that time when everybody was trying to understand. We as adults, it was hard to get our head wrapped around, much less, our children. And I think we're seeing some of that. You're probably seeing some of that wave coming through now.
Yeah. And we're very fortunate at Salem, because we do have 2 counselors for each of our buildings,
which is a huge plus.
Which is a huge plus, and that's
great.
that's something that
awesome.
that's something a lot of schools don't have that. But again, our school board, our administration, that's one of the pushes they made, because they know how important it is now, and
absolutely.
And so we're very fortunate to have that.
Yeah. Well, and and you just never know, and sometimes you just need to talk to somebody, or you just and they have a different light. I mean, they have a different different outlook sometimes, and it's just refreshing. So and every one of them are great rock stars. They care about our students. Yeah, and you can tell. For sure. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Counselors Week. So hopefully they're eating cake and brownies or cookies or whatever, and just celebrating, right, all week. Yeah. It's like birthday week.
Yes. That's
Right. So let's go back to some other things going on at the middle school. How's the pool? Fantastic. You guys,
Yeah, as a staff, so we actually have the opportunity as a staff to do water aerobics tomorrow after school, and I take advantage of that. So Miss Linda Snyder does that for us. So that's just a good opportunity, again, to come together and hang out, have some fun, get a workout. It's a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
And the kids love it too. I mean, they love going in the pool for PE and canoeing and all of that.
Yeah.
Right. Rebecca, I don't know if anyone has because we've got, I'm sure you've heard a lot, but it's such a blessing for us to have a pool. Pools are very expensive, and the cool thing is our forefathers, that when they first were building the middle school, they wanted to make sure, this gave me chills when I found this out years ago, to make sure that every student knew how to swim. Mm-hmm. For safety. And I think that's what a blessing for, because like everything, you're just like creating the perfect person by giving them all of these different tools in their toolbox, to take with them in life, and I think the middle school does a great job, and so we have, made it, updated it, which, how many years, it's so old, Kevin, and...
Well, I mean, the school was built in 1976, so it was, pool was originally put in 76, and I think the second renovation was around 2005, the last renovations.
Our custodians just rock. They do such a great job. We talk about them all the time, how they make things look so good and keep it up, kept it going. So that's a huge blessing to have the pool and everything. And that's also a lot for children too, on that learning and safety and
Yeah, and we still, I know, shout out to our high school boys swim team. I mean, they competed and they finished second in the Mid-Southern Conference.
That's fantastic.
Which is, again, we wouldn't have the opportunity if we didn't have a pool that we could share.
Yeah.
Middle school swimming started practice this week, and I popped in yesterday after, or about 5 when they were started practice, and give or take, I saw about 22, 23 kids there, which I know we have some kids that participate in wrestling and basketball that will merge into swim once that is over. So we'll probably have about 30 kids on our middle school swim team this year.
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
So-
yeah, that's great.
And then we still, Miss Stancombe does a great job for the 8th graders, so second semester swimming when they're in there. They do water safety, canoeing, and we still take our canoe trip at the end of each year down
My favorite.
Blue River.
Love
So
that.
it is one of
Yeah.
my favorites too.
Mhm.
It's just fun to watch the kids out on the river.
So
and-
much
Yeah.
fun, yeah.
And that's important. You talked about our forefathers having this, and you're talking about this trip and the safety aspect of it. I had done some research about Washington County, and every resident in Washington County, on average, is within 4.8 miles of a body of water, whether that's a creek, a river, a backyard pool, a pond, quarry, a water feature of some sort. And we're a rural county, obviously, but so when you the forward thinking to know how that would impact our community and things, and it's you probably couldn't put a number on the families it's impacted in a positive way.
Right.
That things could have been a lot worse and stuff. So I think that's and they like the learning about the canoes and stuff, but then they get to have something fun, and they get to use that practical knowledge that they've used. So I think that's amazing. That's another great feather in the cap, I think, for our school system.
I think since COVID again, as I said, you see a lot more cars with kayaks and people with kayaks
Sure.
out out boating, because that was one of the things you could do then.
Yep.
And I think it's became a growing a sport or activity that a lot of families do together now.
Right.
I
And
mean, I see Walmart usually they have them and they're gone.
Oh,
they don't,
yeah,
they
they go
don't keep them in very
really
well.
quick. They go fast.
Yeah, they go really fast. Yeah.
but it's something that's doable, and it's not the price is right. Usually you can. It's something that a family fun you can do, and it's nice when your family, everybody's on the same playing field, not knowing how to swim. But I still suggest always wear your life jacket. No matter what. But because I went through the class, and then I did, and I loved going on the Blue River. Yeah, and we tipped over, and
They all do. They love
Well,
tipping over.
Usually do it before the first.
You got to
Yeah.
practice
Yes.
those skills.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
but it's funny. I tipped over with our sheriff, Britt Miller. You know what I mean? He said, in all my years, I never tipped over till I was with Becky White. You know what I mean? But
First time for everything.
I was gonna say,
But you
Britt,
were prepared, and he was prepared.
yeah, we went. I ate that soggy sandwich. I know it was so gross. I know, Rebecca. I can still taste that soggy sandwich. Yeah, it was a little bit algae tasting, but that's okay.
Part of the learning curve.
That's right. But he did teach me all about, is it called stinkweed? That
Yep.
stuff, yeah. Brent knows. Our sheriff is very prepared in that stuff. I'm gonna tell you, he knows all those things. But anyway, but that's cool too, because not only does it bring our children, but it also brings people from the community too to be a part. You know what I mean? And that's pretty awesome too. And to see your teachers in a different light. Going down.
Yeah, Miss Conley went last year.
Yeah,
She was
I've been
just-
the
Did you
last
love it?
I've been the last 2 years,
Oh.
and last year the river was flowing real nice, so
Okay.
it was relaxing. I was just floating down. Getting paid to float down the river was nice.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did yours flip over?
No, I'm very careful. However, when we stopped for lunch, I walked up the hill just to see everything, and I came back down the hill and landed right on my tush.
Oh.
So all the kids saw that. They were laughing. I was laughing. It was a great time.
Oh, I love that. No, it's a wonderful bonding. I remember floating down the river and seeing middle schoolers eating pepperoni, and in their living their best life in their canoe, eating pepperoni from a bag, and
Yeah.
I just thought, you have made it in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the canoe trip, and I think that's fantastic, and I'm glad that it's still going. Still strong.
Yep.
We've got some really good Michelle, and she does a fantastic
Yeah,
job.
and Mr. Malloy and Miss Stancombe, they brought in archery. We brought archery
Yes,
back, and so
this is
they
cool.
do a unit in archery second semester. So
The
that's
kids love that.
Well, it's good. It's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, and that teaches them, a different thing that maybe they haven't had access to. There's,
Yep.
That's a good variety for sure.
And then we also have our Washington County, D.C. trip for 8th graders coming up soon, which is always a fun time, too.
Now, is this going to be a bus year? I know, or a flying year?
Bus year.
Bus year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the bus, the advantage of the bus is you bond with your classmates like none other. You know what I mean? When you look over and you have to smell someone's socks sitting there, or, right?
Yep.
Or you see somebody drilling. Those are just wonderful memories. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that trip, though, because I do know about it, but let's tell us.
Miss Becky Day is our facilitator of the trip, and
job.
she is awesome. And you know, she's done this now for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years, it feels like, and she's got it down to a science. I mean, our kids' routine, where we go, what we visit, the opportunities they get to have is just amazing. You know, this is Mr. Miller and I alternate every year, so this is my year to go. I said, I love the trip. I'm not as young as I used to be, so that bus ride's a little rough on me, but it's fun. It's just so great to see the kids. Get to do the Capitol tour, the Arlington Cemetery, some of those things that, just seeing their faces and when they see some of this stuff, and it's just, I'm just glad we can still do something like that.
Well, the Holocaust Museum.
Holocaust Museum, yes.
Oh, Kevin, my girls, that really, I mean, I had one come back and just, sat down on the bed with me and just, she bawled because she got to meet, a lady that had lived through it, and it was just, her story just impacted her so much. And that's just, and those are things that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love books, but like just to talk to the person and be there, that was like a lesson right there, and it really had an impact on her.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the elementary adding a trip to St. Louis for 5th graders this year, bringing that back.
This is fun. This is going to be a fun time, isn't it, for St. Louis? Yeah.
Well, and just again, as a school corporation, trying to provide some of our kids an opportunity that they may or may never have again in their life. It's traveling to Washington D.C. is not always on everybody's agenda.
No,
I mean, it's not always on everybody, unless you're a historic person.
Right.
Historical, it may not be on that bucket list of vacations that you take.
Sure.
But in St. Louis the same way. There's a lot of neat things in St. Louis. 5th grade used to go to Chicago years ago.
I was going to say yes.
And so those are some historic cities that are not that far from us. That our kids, we can provide them some opportunities to see some things they may never get to experience again.
Right.
I think it's important for, as a school, that we keep trying to find those connections for them and opportunities.
I agree. Well, I think we're right here in the land of milk and honey, where we have all of this pretty well, not too far away, and a little bit of a trip, which I like good road trips, and I think that's good bonding, and, for the kids and everything too. And then, like you said, opportunities to get to, maybe, a lot of times families head Florida or, or somewhere else, or Tennessee or something, which is fantastic, love, and there's a Florida trip I'll go to with that. I'll go with any of these trips. I love them all. But St. Louis is got so many great things, and of course we know that DC has great things too. So I think they're both, and I think there's a lot of education going on that they're not even realizing that they're learning. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah. When you're getting a lesson and didn't even realize you were getting a lesson. Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. So I'm glad they brought that back in 5th grade. That'll be great. And then of course the 8th grade, that's kind of their, I think that's kind of their, I don't want to say rite of passage, that's kind of they live for that, don't you think?
Yeah, it's their big hoorah.
Yeah, it is. Gets them getting ready for going into high school, yeah. So how are we on track as far as our snow days and everything? Are we going to be okay? Are we adding any extra days? As of right now, we're okay, right?
Right now, we're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to use some of our asynchronous days early because coming back from first semester, that's kind of a shock. Not expecting that, but then now we're all set up for our synchronous learning. So I think if we miss any more days, teachers are geared, ready to do Google Meets, and the one synchronous day that we had, middle school wise, we had really good attendance.
Yeah, we had great
Teachers
attendance.
had pretty good experience, and I'll let Ms. Conley kind of talk about that in a second. But we had pleasantly good attendance, and the kids were eager to get back, and we hadn't seen them for almost a month at that point. It felt like so.
I know we've been missing you.
Yeah, when I had my Google Meets, we did math, but they really just wanted to talk to each other because they missed their friends, they missed seeing us. So we just spent a few minutes just chit-chatting and talking about what we were doing over break, and then obviously snowed in because nobody was going anywhere. But we had great attendance. It was awesome. I think I had like 95% of my kids do their work while we were in those snow days. So,
I love that. That's above and beyond.
Yeah, it was
You
awesome.
gotta-
That's great.
I'm so
It is.
and when you are a teacher and you thrive to teach and you love seeing all of that
Mhm.
going on, that had to make you over the moon.
Oh yeah,
That-
I was expecting it to be less because we weren't exactly ready for snow days. Like we didn't know how bad it was going to be. So
Right.
not everybody had a Chromebook.
Right.
We weren't ready for that. So I was expecting it to be a lot less. But they found ways,
Oh,
use their phones, use their home devices, whatever, and got it done.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
That is awesome. So as a teacher in doing that, it's a lot of extra work you have to do.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think everybody knows that.
Yeah, you have to find things that are easily adaptable to doing it on a Chromebook, especially in math. Math's a good paper pencil activity because you're graphing, you're drawing, you're scratching stuff out and trying stuff again. So finding things that are adaptable to Google Classroom, it's difficult. I mean, thank God for Teachers Pay Teachers because you can find things that teachers have created.
Oh, I love
And-
that. There's a network on that.
Yes, there's a whole network on that you
That's-
can find something another teacher created and use it.
I love that.
So
love that.
we're all in it together, and you find ways.
That's great.
Well, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
I mean, if somebody's got it and somebody's got some ideas, I'm all for that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's a blessing. I love that you can tap into that, and if you need some ideas or
Yeah.
or you can share ideas on there.
Right.
too.
You can share ideas on there as well, which is nice.
That's great. Yeah. Well, and I think honestly, for math, and I mean this respectfully, Rebecca, sorry, that it would be hard to with things going on in the home to sit down and do math for me. You know what I mean, right? That would be to get the attention.
Oh yeah.
like-
Yeah. A lot of them, especially because when everybody was stuck at home.
Yeah.
Parents, siblings, everybody. So for some of them, it was just finding a quiet space that they could
That's what I
meet
mean.
with me.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they would just hop on for a second, and I'm like, if you need me, email me, and I
Oh.
can get back to you. That way, if you have 10 minutes, 2 hours later, I'm still there. I had kids emailing me at 7 o'clock at night, and I don't care. I'll talk. I was
Oh.
snowed in too, so
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah, we got communication done and
I love that.
figured it out.
Because I know my household, I had 6 daughters, and I could see if one was trying to do math, the other 5 would be
Yeah, chaos.
Yeah, I remember during COVID, I had a daughter going to school at IUS, and she was doing online classes, and I came in the room to get her laundry, and the professor said, "Who's in your room? You're not alone." And I was like, I ducked down. I was like, I'm just trying to get some laundry.
It's just mom. It's okay.
Mom, and I'm just
I'm doing my mom chores.
That's right. So after the class, I got told by my daughter, don't ever do that again. And I'm like, okay, I won't do, so you kind of crawl on your belly trying to get the laundry. But anyway, there's all kinds of distractions like that, you know what I mean? And that was college, so, she was focused. I just want to clarify that. It was me that was just trying to get it done, So anyway, but those are scenes that might happen,
Yeah, you just
Siblings
gotta
and-
adapt and move on. Kind of ignore that extra stuff and
Yeah.
move on.
Ignore that annoying mom coming in your room. Yeah. Well, I think it's good to talk about that because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we are talking some snow coming up, and so we're not out of the woods yet, so, and we know this weather. We had 2 days ago we had like spring weather, which then so I always fall for it. It gets me every time. So then
Yes.
yesterday I wear a dress and I'm freezing. I'm like, why did I do this? It gets me every time though. I always, start.
Saturday it's going to be 62, and then Sunday is going to be 30.
Yeah. So we've got some cooler days. Yeah, that's for sure. So as far as anything else going on at the middle school, I guess before too long we'll be hitting, some spring break, right? I guess probably the kids and teachers.
This is the long stretch right now.
Yeah.
Right?
This is really the
Yeah.
hard stretch, don't you feel?
This is the hardest time of the year, is
Yeah.
between Christmas and spring break. I
Right.
feel like there's no breaks involved.
Well, there's really not, and then
And the weather's not great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you're kind of in between that. Everything's kind of gray outside,
Yeah.
Every now and then you'll see a little green, but it's just kind of, and then the clouds, and then we're supposed to be getting some rain, so it's just kind of like, yeah. So this is, how many days do you guys have the countdown until spring break?
I do not.
I haven't. No.
Oh, wow.
No.
They're both like, we don't even want to think about it. We
Okay,
just want to
all right,
plow
okay.
through
Yeah.
and get there,
Yeah, just
right?
keep going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. definitely.
See, I would every day.
Yeah,
37,
Brad has
36.
the countdown to when he can open his pool.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he's got that down to the second. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pool time. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
It may or may not be roughly 103 days.
I knew he had the countdown on. But that's exciting. So Salem Middle School, and of course the sports going on. You guys had 8th grade night the other night, and hats off to our 8th graders, all of them going on. Let's see. So we kind of ended most of our basketball, right?
This weekend.
This
This
weekend,
weekend starts the county tournament for the 7th and 8th grade boys and girls,
Okay.
which Salem is hosting both.
Yes.
Starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. Then the finals will be Monday.
Okay.
And that'll kind of wrap up the 7th, 8th grade boys and girls basketball season. 5th and 6th grade boys go about another 2 weeks after that. And then we'll kind of start rolling into some spring sports around spring break with
Awesome.
track and golf and,
Ah,
those sports.
Yeah.
And swimming, it will be, middle school swimming is now starting to get ramped up. So,
okay.
but yeah, I think this is the hard time of the year, especially for athletes. Because
Oh.
most of them come to school in the dark, and after they take practice, most of them go home in the dark.
Yeah.
So, they're at school
Yeah.
pretty much the whole day, and it's dark when they wake up and dark when they leave. So it is kind of hard to sometimes bounce through that, especially when it's dreary and snowy and rainy.
Right. Well, I think our athletes, you got to give extreme, shout out to them because, and everyone, and teachers, everybody involved, from colds, flus. We were just talking about all the things that are going around. There's so much going around, and the middle school, you guys are doing pretty good on that. But of course, then when we get into our spring sports, the weather, it's always hard to get all those games in and everything, or the meets in, everything. It's hard to get all of that stuff in. So there's you got to give a lot of respect and a lot of, I guess, accountability for our students and our teachers for taking care of themselves, making sure they're getting rest and eating good, and yeah.
I think the Thursday, we have a 5th and 6th grade home boys basketball game, and we have a middle school wrestling meet.
Oh yeah, wrestling is.
So wrestling's
which-
just
yeah.
in full force now too.
Yes, and it's so nice too. Whenever when Salem hosts it, I always like to see everybody coming. Yeah.
It's always a good time when we can showcase the school. And
Yeah.
host events.
Yeah, and that's sectional too. That'd be fun. I hope everybody comes in and really hits the snack bar, or what I'm trying to say, the
Concession stand.
concession stand, because a lot of times that's fundraisers for our kids.
And
so.
we do have the best concession stand in the area.
I will tell you, concession stand nachos are the best
Oh.
anywhere that you can get nachos, anywhere at a school event, by far.
Yeah. Is that one of your favorite things, Ruben?
I like the pretzel with cheese.
Oh,
that's-
girl, you're totally,
that's
yeah.
it.
And where are you going to get a pretzel with cheese? You just
Yeah,
can't get
that's a
those.
win too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
absolutely.
Yeah, and when they give you a lot of cheese.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
You kind of got to really give them a big smile, so make sure they put the cheese in there. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Rebecca. Yeah.
Well, and I'm very spoiled. Shelley Smith does our concession
She
stands
does a fantastic
and does a great job. But she makes me special popcorn every event because I'm a low salt person, so I'm not a big salt on my popcorn, and she makes me no salt popcorn for almost every home event we have. So Shelley spoils me very much. So.
She does that, and she'll do that when she finds out. She's very much so on that. Yeah, she always, when I, for whatever reason, she'll make sure I have coffee when I'm there. When I come to visit the middle school, there's always coffee. I mean, she knows my.
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's no attention to detail. Well, all of you are, and you guys do a fantastic job. And thank you for what you're doing for our children in our community. We know that this is, these young men and young women that we're raising will someday, are going to be doing what we do and taking on, and so we got some amazing young students for sure. Our students are fantastic. So thank you guys for coming in and highlighting. I think we hit everything. We.
I think so.
All right, Salem Middle School. You guys keep up the great work, Kevin and Rebecca, and Bradley. You over at Walmart. We got best of both. We've got everything going on. We've got
Everything going
Valentine's
on.
Day. We've got Easter, and we have the big game.
Yes,
Super Bowl.
we got all of it going on. Come see us. We can take care of your game day stuff going on with our deli, bakery, and stuff that's already done. Make it easy on you. Chips, drinks, everything you need for anything like that. All of our Valentine's candy is out, so that's rocking and rolling. And one thing too is come see us. this is my favorite part. The pool chemicals are out, lawn and garden
Saw
stuff.
that.
We're
Yeah,
getting every
plants.
day.
You got all
We're
kinds of
getting
plants.
awesome. And this year, Walmart is really changing up. Got a lot of new entries to our outdoor furniture, and we talk about that, rugs and outdoor furniture. Enjoy it. Take the time to enjoy being with your family and friends. And so, there's a lot going on right now.
Well,
So,
there's some really, go back to the, you got some really good seeds. That's what everybody's been asking me, where to get seeds. And
yes.
seeds, you guys got some really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tulips are ready to go.
Yes, they're sitting
that,
there.
so,
They're
yeah,
beautiful, and
yeah.
of course the house plants too. So
Yeah.
you got a good variety, good shipment of that. So I have to. That's my love. A little bit of a
And
addiction there.
my favorite thing about what we do for game day stuff is, that way you can let us do the
Oh,
work
all the
and
time.
you enjoy your party, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Her name is
So,
Natalie. Okay, go over there. Down, Natalie. What all you want? She's got my calendar, or
Right.
not my. She got a folder for me, because I forget what all I need. Natalie has my folder. She's got me
She's
well
got
taken care
Becky
of.
covered.
She does.
She
She knows exactly what I need.
and she'll do that for anybody.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
but she is another one that once she knows,
Mm.
she takes great care of
And
it.
then real quick, Anna with my cakes. All I have to do is say, "Do it Becky style," and she the
she
knows. Cakes and the,
She knows.
which then I come out rock star. My family thinks, oh, they love it. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, at the caravan, everybody was asking, where did all the Reds were saying, where did this come from? This is so good. Where did it come from? Walmart. So it's giving some good tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
so bring
make
your
it
Walmart.
easier on yourself. Take all the credit for it too. It's
Bring
just
all
like-
that, and then let's go to Rebecca's and have some ribs.
Yeah, you can come over.
That's. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Rebecca, that is what is it called? High
That's
tier.
kicking it up a
That's
notch
high
right
tier.
there. That's
that
just
is like uptown high
It's like
tier.
you just don't say, now you're just showing off. In
Yeah.
a good way. In a good way. I mean that with
Yeah.
all the love and
Yeah.
respect. That's
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
awesome. Yeah.
All right, let's thank our sponsors, Bradley.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rosa's, Fox Tree Wealth Management, Dr. Black Science Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, and McAllister Land Consulting.
All right, let's have the best Wednesday ever. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Rebecca. And thanks, Brad.
Head on over to McDonald's in Salem, French Lick, and Bedford to celebrate after the game, to enjoy that one-of-a-kind taste of McDonald's or warm up with some hot coffee. McDonald's is saving you money with the McValue menu at breakfast and lunch.
Big Box Entertainment presents The Rick Burgess Show with Speedy, Greg Burgess, Eddie Van Adler, and Rick Burgess.
Yeah, huh? Thank you, Ken Osborne. Brand new hour. How we doing? Brand new show. Wednesday Bible study back today. We'll finish the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 12. We'll wrap it up today, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, on the Rick Burgess Show YouTube channel. You can catch it live, or if you miss it, catch the archive. It'll be out not long after we're done. And that will also be available on our podcast channel. So with our daily audio archives, which you can access the entire show every day on your own time. One thing, Adler, I want to ask you, since Adler kind of heads up all this, and see if my answer is right. On the text option, somebody was saying, hey, I'd love for you guys to make a video of your interview. Was that yesterday with Pastor Dean and Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
From Tallahassee, who will be at the Man Church Conference in Panama City. He's written many books, but the one, The Unsaved Christian, had a huge impact on the Wednesday Bible study, speaking of it. And they're asking about can y'all do a video of that? I want to share it with others because his book actually brought me to a saving faith in Christ as well. But can't they just go to the archive of yesterday and find it?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and go to that segment, and I'll just I'll tweet out a time-stamped link
Okay.
right now, or I'll send it to you so you can tweet it out, Rick.
Okay. Either way, yeah.
Okay.
So so we will try to do that for you. And he's saying I want to use it to let others hear about this book and what he's saying and all that too. So okay.
In the meantime, it's exactly 3 hours into yesterday's show, from February 4th.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Adler. Here's some things. We're learning a lot during this new transparency of our government. We're learning a lot.
Yes.
We are learning a lot. And so I didn't know anything about this organization, and I know we've all spelled it different ways. Is it USAID or is it USAID?
I've heard it both ways. Prominently, I heard it yesterday on Fox News as USAID.
Same.
That's the one I keep hearing too,
Yeah.
more than the other. But I hear the other. So here's the whole deal. The Democrats hate this, that a government agency that wastes our tax dollars is going to be done away with.
Mm-hmm.
This just takes a leftist and they just have a conniption.
Oh, yeah.
So Chuck Schumer is now questioning the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They're furious about this, and they really are mad that Elon Musk is in charge of it.
Yeah.
And so Schumer's going to get mad. Then you're going to hear this bizarre rant about how stupid he is from someone who doesn't know how to use a garbage disposal. So anyway, so here, and that's AOC, of course. All right, here's Schumer first.
And the American people, mark my words, the American people will not stand for an unelected, secret group to run rampant through the executive branch. Being innovative is good. But Mr. Musk, this isn't a tech startup. These are public institutions that deal with things like Social Security and Medicare and national defense and provide for the well-being of the American people.
None of that's being cut.
And the American people